Wait, what? Malcolm-Jamal Warner is dead. And Phylicia Rashad, America's TV mom, the regal queen of the Cosby show, just broke down in tears screaming, "Not my Theo." Live on air, somebody please tell me this is a nightmare from the 80s, because the streets are shaking and Hollywood is in full-blown meltdown mode. How did we go from laughing at reruns of Theo getting roasted by Cliff to this dark, tragic spiral? Who's lying? Who's covering it up? And most importantly, why is nitrogen monoxide one talking about what really happened behind the scenes of this once beloved television dynasty? Because baby, this ain't just a death, this is a full-blown conspiracy wrapped in nostalgia, sprinkled with trauma, and delivered with a side of shady silence from all the surviving cast members. Raven Simone deleted her tweet, Tempest Bledsoe turned off her comments, and Kashia Knight Pulliam ghosted. So why is Phylicia Rashad the only one grieving publicly? What does she know that we don't? And what secret was Malcolm-Jamal Warner carrying to his grave? It was supposed to be a quiet Tuesday morning in Black Hollywood, but instead it exploded into chaos, tears, and betrayal. And at the very center of this swirling storm, America's once most wholesome mother, Phylicia Rashad, caught on camera in full-blown breakdown mode, yelling out, "Not my Theo, not my Theo." As Malcolm-Jamal Warner's alleged death hit the internet like a wrecking ball through the Cosby living room set. But hold up, how did we get here? Why is the world mourning a death that no one can confirm? And more importantly, what does Phylicia know that we don't? Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves, because this ain't just a story, this is a conspiracy that dates back decades, tangled in the ruins of sitcom royalty, shattered reputations, and secrets so dark even Bill Cosby might take a backseat. It all began with a mysterious Instagram live, a grainy video. A woman sobbing uncontrollably, no name, no context, just a shaky voice repeating, Malcolm ... He's gone within minutes. Hashtag RIP Malcolm-Jamal Warner was trending, and by our two blogs were declaring it the biggest celebrity death hoax or cover-up of the decade. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's rewind the tape a bit. Because Phylicia Rashad's tearful meltdown didn't just come out of nowhere. Nope, this emotional spiral, this wasn't about a friend. This was about a son, not biologically, no, but for millions of fans around the world. Theo Huxtable and Claire Huxtable were Black America's mother-son dream team, and off-camera, the bond between Phylicia and Malcolm was real. Maybe a little too real. Flashback to the late 90s, multiple sources claim that after the Cosby show ended, Phylicia became a quiet mentor to Malcolm. Publicly, it was all motherly guidance ... but behind the scenes? Some insiders hinted at an obsessive attachment, with Rashad allegedly referring to him as "my only son" during multiple private events, even when her real daughter, Condola, was present. In one shady, now deleted blog post from 2006, a former assistant at Beck claimed that Phylicia once stormed off a set after hearing that Malcolm had signed a new sitcom deal without telling her. Her words, "I didn't raise him to make decisions like this." Excuse me, raise him. It gets messy. Fast forward to 2020, the world's locked down, and so is Black Hollywood. Out of nowhere, Malcolm-Jamal Warner goes ghost. No red carpet, no interviews, no Zoom appearances, no tweets, not even a Father's Day post, which he never misses. Then comes the cryptic tweet from Phylicia, "You think they're here forever?" Then they disappear in silence. Fans were confused. Speculation was wild, but industry insiders whispered one thing: Malcolm's health was failing, and Phylicia was covering for him. Double quotes, boom. So now, in 2025, when a random anonymous account leaks a teary video of a woman who sounds a lot like Phylicia crying over Malcolm's death, the internet does what it does best: explodes. Even worse, Rashad doesn't deny it. Instead, she goes completely silent for 48 hours. No tweet, no interview, no denial, just radio silence. And UKNOW, in the age of digital drama, silence is louder than a confession. But that's not even the wildest part, because just days before this breakdown, Malcolm-Jamal Warner was reportedly seen entering Cedars-Sinai Hospital in LA, escorted by two unknown individuals in dark suits allegedly from the government, according to a very shaky eyewitness TikTok video that's been reposted over 12,000 times. The caption, "They hiding something, that man ain't just sick. Something else going on. Why the feds at the hospital? Oh, it gets deeper, much deeper. Our sources claimed that Malcolm was secretly battling a neurological illness linked to stress and trauma, some are calling it Cosby PTSD, and was under intensive psychological evaluation for over 6 months. But here's where it takes a hard left. That illness? It might have been worsened by exposure to mind-altering substances during his time on The Cosby Show set. Yes, we're talking conspiracy-level sabotage. And who's been protecting this secret for years? That's right, Phylicia Rashad, because guess who's been visiting that hospital room night after night, according to a suspiciously blurry visitor log? Phylicia, under an alias, Claire H. I'm sorry, she used her character name as a hospital alias. This woman is not okay. Meanwhile, former castmates are slowly chiming in, sorta. Kishia Knight Pulliam, you know, Rudy posted a vague black and white photo with the caption, "Legends never die." But silence is deafening. Say what now? Some people are saying all of this is just a misunderstanding, that Malcolm is fine, just laying low. That Phylicia was crying about something else, but explain this. Why did Malcolm's verified Instagram suddenly go from public to private, then back to public with a LL post swiped clean? A fresh start or a digital memorial? Fans are asking, is Malcolm gone? Is he in hiding, or was this all staged ... by someone with something to hide? And guess who just posted a cryptic tweet after 3 days of silence? Phylicia, just one line, he was never mine to lose. What does that even mean? This video ... things get darker. Way darker. Because a former NBC intern has just come forward with emails, photos, and what she claims is a recorded voicemail between Malcolm and Phylicia, where he pleads with her to let the world know the truth before it's too late. Too late for what? And just when you thought this couldn't get any darker, hold on to your pearls, because what we're about to dive into is straight out of a Hollywood thriller laced with betrayal, hidden agendas, and a grieving woman who just wants the truth. Let's pick up right where we left off. Phylicia Rashad, broken, trembling, and crying out, "Not my Theo." Behind closed doors at an emergency press briefing that was suspiciously never aired publicly, according to one anonymous staffer at CBS Studios, Phylicia allegedly collapsed just minutes before going live for a public statement. Cameras were rolling, but someone, and we're not naming names yet, ordered the footage scrubbed. The insider claimed she wasn't just grieving, she was panicking. It's like she knew something was coming. She kept whispering, "They're going to pin this on me. They always do." Now, why would Phylicia Rashad, America's TV mom, feel like a target? Let's connect the dots. Malcolm-Jamal Warner's sudden passing was announced via a single Instagram story. No official confirmation, no coroner's report, no press conference. And the account, it was deleted just 24 minutes after the post went live. But guess who was tagged in the now vanished post? That's right, Phylicia. Coincidence? In this town? Please. Within hours, conspiracy theorists flooded the internet. Hashtag #TheaTruth and hashtag Where is Malcolm began trending on X and TikTok. People weren't just questioning the death, they were asking why Phylicia had gone silent for 2 whole days. And when she finally did reappear, she wasn't alone. Enter Debbie Allen, her sister, her shield, her crisis manager. Debbie rolled up to Phylicia's LA mansion with a security detail for assistance and a suitcase full of non-disclosure agreements. No one was allowed in or out, not even Phylicia's publicist. According to a now deleted Reddit thread, one witness claimed to see Debbie and Phylicia in a heated exchange on the balcony. The witness claimed Debbie was pointing in her face, yelling something like, "You should have listened to me. He warned you." Who is he? Some sources believe he was none other than Bill Cosby. Yep, buckle up, because apparently Malcolm had reached out to Cosby just weeks before his death. We don't know why, but leaked phone records from an alleged court investigator show a series of calls between Malcolm's number and a Pennsylvania line traced back to Cosby's compound. Now, if that doesn't make your stomach flip, wait until you hear this. An unverified email sent anonymously to multiple newsrooms contains what appear to be medical reports signed off by a Dr. Richard M. Banks, showing traces of synthetic opioids in Malcolm's system weeks before his supposed cardiac event. The sender simply signed it as the other Huxtable baby. What? Fans have now begun speculating that Malcolm was possibly being poisoned slowly over time. And here's where it gets twisted. He'd allegedly told a close friend that he was working on a tell-all memoir. A memoir that would expose decades of shady behind-the-scenes deals, off-screen tensions, and the real reason the Cosby Show reunion never happened, according to that same friend who refused to go on camera but allowed us to quote their leaked voicemail. Malcolm said, "They think I'm scared to speak, but I've been holding this in for too long. When this book drops, I'll be free. I'm not gonna die with secrets buried in me like the rest of them. Who you? Somebody cue the thunder and lightning, because this just turned supernatural." And now, let's talk about what fans are calling the curse of the Huxtables. Allegedly, every major cast member who tried to distance themselves from the Cosby legacy ended up dealing with career-ending scandals, illnesses, or unexplainable financial losses. Lisa Bonet blacklisted, Jeffrey Owens spotted bagging groceries, Raven-Symoné public breakdown, and now Malcolm dead or disappeared. Theories are flying that a private elite group of executives are determined to protect the legacy of the Cosby empire at all costs. Think this is far-fetched? One user on TikTok pulled documents from an LLC allegedly tied to Cosby's estate that's been quietly buying up the rights to all Cosby-related content over the past year, including canceled interviews, podcast episodes, and unreleased memoirs. You see the pattern, and in the middle of the circus is Phylicia Rashad, caught between grief, guilt, and a growing suspicion that her beloved TV son may have been taken out not by fate, but by design. Meanwhile, the Black Hollywood community is eerily silent. No rip posts from key celebrities. No candlelight vigils, just whispers, deleted tweets, cryptic Instagram captions like "silence is protection" and "some truths ain't safe to speak." And let's not ignore the latest footage that surfaced just last night. TMZ reportedly caught Phylicia at LAX wearing sunglasses and holding tightly to a folder with the words "confidential memoir" scrawled across it in red ink. She refused to answer any questions, but her trembling hands told us everything we needed to know. So what's really going on here? A grieving TV mom shattered by loss, or a woman haunted by the truth she helped bury? This video is where it gets even deeper. You think we've hit the bottom? Oh no. We're just scratching the surface of this Hollywood nightmare. And just when you thought this story couldn't twist any deeper into the shadows of fame, betrayal, and legacy, boom. The third act hits harder than a rerun of The Cosby Show after knowing what we now know. Phylicia Rashad, America's forever TV mom, wasn't just crying in solitude. Oh no, sis went full-on mama bear with receipts, and the industry shook. So here we are. Malcolm-Jamal Warner's alleged death has gone from a tragic whisper to a viral meltdown. But let's be clear, this isn't just about losing Theo. This is about a cover-up, a media blackout, and a so-called family of stars who are being accused of hiding the truth from the public. And at the center of it all, that raw, gut-wrenching video of Phylicia, red-eyed, trembling, screaming into a phone outside what sources say was a private morgue facility in Atlanta. Now, let's rewind. This wasn't just some random emotional breakdown. Nope, an insider, let's call him Security Steve, claimed that Phylicia demanded to see Malcolm's body. Not once, not twice, but 5 times. Each time she was turned away. Why? They told her the family had already arranged for a quiet cremation, Steve whispered in a voice note that magically ended up in a fan's DMs. She kept saying, "Theo would have called me. Theo would never leave me like this. Who you?" And guess what? The plot thickens, because who else was conveniently missing from every major outlet's coverage of Malcolm's supposed passing? His real-life longtime partner, Regina King. That's right, not a single word, not a tweet, not even a silent black square, just ghosted. And y'all expect us to believe that's normal, really? Sources close to the situation claimed that Malcolm and Regina had been estranged for months, allegedly after Malcolm discovered something unforgivable in her phone. And no, it wasn't a group chat with Angela Bassett, it was legal papers. Apparently, Regina was helping broker a private trust fund transfer from Malcolm's estate to an unknown foundation in Belize. Don't ask us what the charity does, not even Google knows. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Phylicia wasn't letting go quietly. Nope, a confidential hospital employee allegedly sent an anonymous tip to Black Watch HQ, a fake news watchdog site, that Phylicia filed a formal medical fraud complaint. The complaint named 3 parties of interest, one of which reportedly matches the initials of Malcolm's publicist, a man who recently bought a Tesla Plaid and a penthouse in Buckhead, all within the same month. Coincidence? Chilly, please, but that ain't the craziest part. Hold your pearls, because a video surfaced, only 6 seconds long before it was pulled from TikTok, of what appeared to be a man who looked exactly like Malcolm-Jamal Warner sitting in the back of an Uber in Miami. The uploader claimed the man looked nervous, like he didn't want to be recognized. But here's the gag, the video was uploaded under a burner account called @stilltheo1987. Let that sink in. Now, I ain't saying he faked his death, but I am saying we've seen this kind of ghosting before. Dave Chappelle disappeared to South Africa, Tupac's hologram is still going on tour, and now Theo's out here pulling Houdini stunts? At this point, Phylicia Rashad wasn't just mourning, she was on a mission. On day 6 of the media storm, she reportedly hired a private investigator who once worked on the Michael Jackson estate case, and according to an intercepted email, which allegedly included the phrase malpractice, misdiagnosis, and staged medical narrative, Phylicia's camp believes this entire ordeal might have been orchestrated. Why? They suspect it was to seize control of Malcolm's streaming residuals from The Cosby Show, read between the lines, and multiple Spotify narration contracts. And if you think Hollywood elites don't get grimy overchecks, please go ask most single quotes and IQUE. Now, here's the cherry on top of this soap opera Sunday. After all this chaos, guess who randomly went live on Instagram? Kaisha Night Pulliam, that's right, little Rudy herself, crying. But when fans flooded the comments with "Is Theo really dead?" she ended the live immediately. No explanation, no clarification, just gone. If that doesn't scream cover-up, what does? So what happens now? Well, the whispers are turning into roars. Twitter is calling for an independent autopsy. Fans are starting a hashtag Where is Malcolm, and even Netflix was allegedly contacted for potential surveillance footage on the night Malcolm was last seen. Meanwhile, a Change.org petition is gaining signatures demanding Phylicia be granted next of kin access, even though legally, she's not blood family. Let that sink in. The woman who raised Theo on screen mentored him off screen and called him my son in every interview for decades, is locked out of his final moments. If that ain't Hollywood injustice, what is? This isn't just a tragedy, this is a reckoning. Phylicia Rashad is tearing down doors, calling out names, and demanding truth over tribute she isn't here for. Red carpet condolences, she wants answers, and if the whispers are true, if Malcolm-Jamal Warner is actually alive, hiding, or worse, being held somewhere for the benefit of greedy hands, this will be the biggest Hollywood bombshell since the Will Smith slap. And baby, this time, there's no apology big enough to clean this up. Now brace yourself for the final truth drop, because in the next few days, an exclusive interview with a former Cosby Show producer is set to drop, and insiders say he's ready to reveal what really happened between Malcolm, Regina, and a secret contract that might have sealed Malcolm's fate years ago. And there you have it, folks, Hollywood's most heartbreaking twist yet. From sitcom smiles to a real-life tragedy no one saw coming. The woman who helped raise a generation on screen just watched her son slip away into the shadows of betrayal, conspiracy, and sudden loss. Phylicia Rashad didn't just lose Malcolm, she lost her Theo. But what really happened that night? Was this just a tragic coincidence, or is someone in Hollywood scrubbing their fingerprints off a much bigger cover-up? We want to hear from you. Are you buying this natural Cause's story, or do you believe there's a darker truth behind Malcolm-Jamal Warner's mysterious end? Drop your thoughts, theories, and your WTF moments in the comments below. And if you think this is the last time the spotlight will shine on secrets this dark, think again. We've got receipts, leaks, and whispers hotter than Hollywood's Walk of Shame. Like, share, and hit that subscribe button for more explosive investigations, unfiltered truth, and the viral tea no one else dares to spill.